chest, take that recorder over, be very careful with that, hold it with both hands. They're going to go over and record. Our youth radio is going to record some interviews today. They've been recording interviews about why people are here. There's a lot of people here, so we're hoping to figure out and share on youth radio why are you here. So I am about to finally, thank you, God. We got through our technical issues of a producer not shutting off the stream, so therefore we could not get on it because they did not shut it off after their last show. So now we managed to live through that. If you're out there and you're listening, send me a text message at 541-606-2025. Let me know that you're listening. I am going to walk closer towards the stage of this amazing protest that we have going on that is now, I believe, live on the air. And this is Queet. I'm very excited to put this on the air. This is Queet.
We're standing for our shared humanity. But the road ahead of us will not be easy. The path to justice is often fraught with challenges, setbacks, and opposition. We will face resistance. There will be those who will seek to silence us, who will try to break our resolve, but we must remember, the fight is not just for us, this is for our children. This is for the next generation. It is for a world that they will, in a world that we can shape together. As we move forward, we must remain united, knowing that we have the power to demand structural, lasting change. We must demand a system that upholds justice, equality, and compassion of all people, regardless of their background, their identity, or their status. And let us not forget the world is watching us. History will look back on this moment and not judge us by the challenges we faced, but how we responded. The children, our children are especially watching. They are watching us to see if we will act with courage, the compassion, and the conviction necessary to create a world that reflects the best of us. So let us show them what democracy looks like. What does democracy look like?
What democracy looks like.
What does democracy look like?
This is what democracy looks like.
One more time. What does democracy look like?
This is what democracy looks like.
Let us show them that democracy is just not a system of government. It is a system of our values. A system that affirms the dignity of every human being. A system that seeks justice. A system that believes in the power. Together, our resistance is rooted in unity. And when we stand together across race, across class, across identity, we are unstoppable. To quote my warrior and prophet, continue to say lies about my community and I will be forced to tell the truth about yours. Thank you.
I love you, Queen. I love you.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. We have some more music to carry us through the event. Samba Jaw is going to perform for a little bit, and then Cross Current may play some more. I just want to say thank you for being here. It was an honor to be in community with you, peacefully resisting the anti-democratic and evil actions being taken by the administration. I don't know about you, but I'm a little less scared than I was when I woke up this morning. Remember what we learned today? Small actions make a big big impact. Feeding strangers is how we win. Helping strangers is how we win. Loving strangers is how we win. Together we are stronger. So go find a group to join, find a new friend, find a next step. If you're feeling hopeless, do a small act of kindness. Now it's time to wave signs and dance and chat. We can do this. We will do this. Together we will win. Resist!
In our unique local programming hours. Later on, we will also have it in our news hours. There will be clips. We will have our youth radio students, and the interviews that they've done today will also be on the air. I wish we had gotten more of the speakers than we did live on the air today. But, you know, we're doing our best to keep KEPW as an amazing community resource. I really, really appreciate all the support that we get from our community, and I know how the people in my community feel when they show up in masses so big that you had to walk for blocks in order to get there. There were people just pouring in for blocks all the way back to Willamette and Fifth Avenue. You had to park in order to get to this event, and there were just people streaming in. It was absolutely amazing. We really wanted to put more people on the air that were actually the speakers today, but you know, sometimes things just go the way they go. So I am super proud of my community to show up in mass like this. I mean, there's still people just everywhere, and they'll be playing music, and people will be continuing to show their support. And what's amazing to me is I heard before I even got here that it was the largest protest in many other places that started, obviously, on the East Coast 3 hours ahead of us. And they are having the largest protest yet also in all of these places across the United States. But it was good to hear that in the East that was the case. We got like so many people here. It was almost impossible to get through the crowd. And it's amazing to me. I'm just super appreciative in so many ways. We're gonna make our way through here, kind of looking at different signs. We'll join us. Keep your hands off my cancer drugs. Hands off trans rights. Now you've done it. You've pissed off grandma. The power of the people is stronger than the people in power. That's a nice sign. So many great signs. I have my husband here who came up with a very interesting concept. Let's go over here and talk to Scooby-Doo. So I'm not going to give away who he is completely, but here is Scooby-Doo, and he has something to say. So he has a sign. He's He's in a Scooby-Doo costume. He says, "Ruck you, Ronald Rump." Yep, I said it. Ruck. I said it. I think that it doesn't count. All right. Tell us, Scooby, why are you here today? He's getting a lot of pictures, so we'll have to get out of the way while he does that. Oh no, I don't think we can hear Scooby. Okay, it's fine. He's kind of too quiet behind his mask. I can't hear him. Where is Gillette? Oh my God. This is okay. So we are. I think you need to put down the sign and make sure we know where they are. Where's Calliope?
She's feeding a dog over there.
Okay, you guys have to stay close enough for Grandpa to be able to know where you are. Oh yeah, live on the radio, you get to see us keeping track of children in this insane group. There's a lot of people, and Scooby-Doo is supposed to be watching out for the kids while I do this live stream, so I just needed to make sure that we knew where our kids are, because there is a lot of folks here. Let's just go through some more. Let's talk a little bit more about all the different signs here, because there is a lot of really important signage here. We've got dangerous, let's see, convict, dangerous, lunatic, liar, impeach. Oh yeah, there you go. There's one. Protect 2000, Project 2025 equals treason. That's, there's so many signs. Oh my goodness. Let's see. How many more signs can I say? There's we, the people, indivisible. And I think that's really true. Hands off our Social Security. Hands off healthcare, school lunches, trans friends, foreign and retirement, vets affairs, our kids. Oh yeah, hands off all those things. Good dog, bad doge. Yeah. So I'm just kind of going to go through the audience for this protest that is slightly dispersing, but there's a lot of people, and I'm just going to say all of the different signs and kind of just go through the process of sharing that. There's a lot of people. This rally is called Hands Off. So a lot of these signs say hands off our democracy. I love democracy. Hands off the Forest Service, the trans folks, the veterans, the LGBTQIA2S, Postal Service, immigrants, Smithsonians, University Research, Social Security, and DEI. Yeah, that's this guy's sign. Boy, that's a mouthful. But all these things are so real. Strength in diversity. I like that one. Strength in diversity. So, boot the bozo. Okay. Liberty and justice for all. Hands off our money. Yeah, that's a big deal. Hands off our money. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Thank you for your very, very important sign. We are the 99%. Hands off cancer research. Only you can resist fascist liars. Yep, only you can resist fascist liars. All right. There's our news team, folks, wrapping it up after recording this fabulous rally, which I look forward to playing on the air. You'll be hearing it throughout this next week. You'll hear it. Hate does not make America great, okay? Hate does not make America great. And we understand that. I don't understand why anybody would think hate would make America great. Capitalism is a death cult held by a young one. Ouch. Okay. So many important messages shared here. Eat the rich and feed the poor. Hands off my rights. Yep. Hands off my rights. Arrest the criminals in the White House and save our democracy. That seems pretty to the point. Hands off education. Booker for the people. What's interesting to me is I'm seeing more and more of these upside down flags going on, and if this country ain't in distress now, we've never been in distress. I think it's very, very true that we are in distress, and it is real. And these people have an upside down flag and a sign, I love democracy. You know, this is what democracy looks like. People showing up. This is called freedom of speech, and this is the exact thing that some people are having their visas revoked for right now. Like, how terrible is that? To know that people that have exercised their right to free speech in our country are having their visas revoked. It makes me sick to my stomach. It makes me fearful. But I want to go with what the woman said as the last speaker today. She said she is less fearful today, right now, than she was when she woke up this morning. And I think that my fears have been relieved in a way that I know that I am not alone. But my fears exist. My fears for our ability to be a radio station that can express itself in the way free speech is meant to be used, where our community has a platform to express itself. So one of my favorite people over there, I'm not going to try to say hello because I'm on the live stream, live on KEPW. So that says arrest the criminals in the White House. Oh, I didn't realize that's the opposite side of her sign. The other side says protect my forests. So I really appreciate the fact that so many people are here. I mean, there's thousands, it seems like. Thousands of people are here right now protesting what seems like the exact moment in time that we must say it's not okay and that we must stand up. Like, it's so important. I know that I had a hard time getting here this morning. I'm just trying to get all these things done in my own personal life, and how hard it is to fit in other things when we're all so busy in this rat race. And I totally get that, but I think that it's super important if we want to have the country we've all been blessed to enjoy as of now. It's super important for us to find ways to participate. Reject fascist hatred. Yep, that's what we're talking about. Trump is a leech, let teachers teach. Are we great yet? Because I just feel embarrassed. I'm with you. Totally embarrassed. Because if this is what greatness looks like in the eyes of the people of this administration, I think I feel sad for them. Honestly, I feel sad for them because I think they misunderstand what greatness means. So I'm going to just keep at it here. We got hands off free speech. She's with me. You've heard me talking about this. Hands off free speech. Hands off our schools. Hands off. Our democracy is not for sale. Yeah, that is how it is. Our democracy is not for sale. So I'm pretty happy to see all of this amazing humans. We've got the young, we've got the elders, we've got everything in between. I came here with a sign that said, pick your cause and stand up for it, because now is the time. That is my sign. And I think that many of the signs here say the same thing. This is our time. This is when we need to stand up, because it's much harder to get things back after you've lost them than it is to get them back before you lose them. And so when it comes to rights, I think it's super important for us to realize that this river right here that I'm standing in front of, this river right here, deserves to live too. And it deserves for our children to be able to come to a clean river and enjoy nature and swim, and for us all to have clean water. And you cannot make all the protected places in the world vulnerable to corporations that have already polluted and destroyed so many beautiful places in the world. And we have left these things protected more in this country, and that's why these billionaires are after us, because they want to make sure that they're not prevented from destroying the nature that we have tried to protect in this country. And I have many, many prayers that we find a way to shut this administration down. I know that there's a lot of judges attempting to do something about what's happening, and it seems like the president doesn't think he has to listen. Like there's an executive branch out there that believes that the judicial branch shouldn't be able to be what it's supposed to be as the checks and balances for this country. And that's slightly crazy in my opinion. So I got my grandkids over here and they're playing in this river, and I want to know that this river is going to be here and beautiful and clean, and I don't have to be afraid for my kids to play in the river when they want to play in the river. And that's really what this is all about for me, like protecting my planet and protecting the people on this planet has to do with making it so that the future generations can have the same luxuries that I have been blessed with throughout my life. And I want to know that people that think that money is worth more than clean water or worth more than human dignity, worth more than equality.
Emma, we have a present for you.
Oh, they have a present. How nice. Oh my gosh, do you see that? Do you see that beautiful heartstone? Oh, yeah, those kids know what I love. They know what I love. All right, so here we are. We're at it. We're going to stay at it. We're going to stay on the air until 3 p.m. here. And we're going to do our best to hear from different people about why they feel like this is so important. And Youth Radio, 6 p.m. at Saturdays, 6 p.m. on Saturdays, will be one of the places that you can hear. We will be airing the interviews that the kids did today at this protest, and also 6 a.m. on the Unidad Day Activistas. Sorry, I want to make sure I get their show name right. I believe it's Unidad Day Activistas, the Voices of Resistance morning show, 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. We'll also have the things that have been recorded from this rally playing. There's immigrant rights and different things that they share on their show, but they have been here today recording, and we'll be sharing their recordings and the speakers who spoke about things that really touch on their cause of choice. Most of us have a lot of signs that have a laundry list of causes that we care about. I think that it's important to figure out where you can plug in and give what time you have to trying to make sure that our country remains the beautiful country that we have been honored and blessed to live in. I'm going to drink some of that clean water, not from the river, and come right back to you after I have a sip here. All right, so here we go. We're going to continue to do our best to follow this rally with thousands of people. I mean, they're clean over the pedestrian bridge. They're on top of the bridge by Coburg. They're underneath the bridge near the water. Will you please take that recorder out of the sun with you? Thank you so much. So we were just making sure that our devices are safe. Oh my, I have to show this sign, but I can't say it over the radio. But I would like to show this sign. Oh yeah. Okay. So let's walk over here, look at some more signage, see. Boy, we are definitely creating a movement here. And the whole world's watching. That's what her sign says. The whole world's watching. So if you're out there listening and you are hearing this live stream, please share it. I'm going to attempt to share it right now through some other. So here we are, live on KEPW right now. We're trying to share the YouTube live stream, but we are also live on the radio. We get like never again, not on my watch. So this is super important signage, so much. Department of Greed and Evil, meaning DOGE. Department of Greed and Evil. Yeah. Exist, persist, resist. This is not left versus right. It is right versus wrong. Yeah, that's a good one. That's actually one of my favorite signs. I've seen that sign before. I like that one. They're both very good signs. I'm live on the radio at our community radio station. So that's what I'm doing. I'm also sharing through our YouTube Live. So I was wanting to just share with people what amazing signs that kind of say everything that are out here today.
Right. Exactly. Too many things to say. So
I know. I was like, this is my sign. So, have a beautiful day. Yeah. So many people trying to have their voices heard. I don't think that these rallies are really because our president cares about what we want as a people, but I think being out here and making it clear this is what we want is super important, and I'm honored to be a part of it. Just to say so, I am honored to be a part of a radio station that will not change its DEI agenda, because I believe that equity is crucial, and I am kind of stunned to hear that the idea of equity could be something somebody wants to say is a bad thing. And I get where people are coming from when they feel like somehow the rules have made it so that it's about whether you're somebody of color or you have one of these other labels, and that is affecting your ability to get a job as a white person. But honestly, can we really think about this a second time? Because how many people of color have been discriminated against when trying to get work in this country? There's a reason why DEI programs and DEI processes have been enacted within organizations because of discrimination that has been about, whether you're a person of color or whether you're a trans person or LGBTQ. Like, these things have been very real for those demographics for a long time. So how is it that white people feel so mistreated? That somehow we are afraid to have an equal shot with people of color, because I don't think that diversity, equity, and inclusion say you don't get an equal shot and that somehow these other people get a better chance than you. It's meant to be that we all get an equal chance. That's what it's about. And how it has been skewed to be a message that is very different for some people, I don't completely understand, but I know that I will always stand for equity. And this radio station, if necessary, will go down, because we will not back down. We will not give up what we believe in. So I don't know what it all means, just to be perfectly honest. I don't know where all this is going, but I appreciate the fact that we're here and we're standing up for what's right, and we're going to do our best till the bitter end. And I believe in miracles, so I'm going to have faith that this administration and the evil that it wants to express and spread, even into the hearts of people that I really love, will not be able to successfully achieve its agenda. Just like Nazi Germany was not able to achieve its agenda. And I pray that this country does not have to go through what Germany and the rest of the world went through before we were able to eliminate that evil. And if I didn't truly believe that what we're looking at is the possibility of those same kinds of prejudices and racism and hate and hurt and suffering for people based on the agenda of this administration, I wouldn't stand up against it. I believe things need to be changed. I believe the government needs to be checked, but that's not what's happening. What's happening is the beautiful things that we have going on are attempting to be demolished, while the things that are the real problems are continuing to get worse. And a group of very rich people that have no idea what it means to have to depend on Social Security to have housing in your elderly years think that they can take control and make more money at the sacrifice of many, many human rights and the ability for our children to live on a healthy planet. And that is just wrong. And I hope that anybody listening can, have an open heart and an open mind. If you believe something different, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it, not argue about it. Let's really talk about it. I'm getting interesting little tidbits from things like stop the tariff on the penguins. No tariff for the penguins. What is happening right now? That's what I want to know, because when I listen to our president, I can't even believe it. I hear somebody who is not completely sane. He doesn't make a lot of sense. And the people that I love that support him say things like, well, I can't listen to these politicians. But if you're going to support a president that is going to take it upon himself to damage so many communities and do so many things that hurt so many different demographics in our country, I suggest that we listen. How is it that we could say that we're not going to listen? I walked away from the drummers because they're so awesome, but they're loud. And I wasn't quite sure how that was coming through on the radio. So if anybody's out there listening and they want to put something on the Facebook page or send me a text, I would super appreciate hearing if this is actually coming through well on the radio. So give me a moment here while I ask my monitor if he's looked at his phone lately. Because he's supposed to be telling me whether I'm getting messages, and I don't feel like I'm getting the information I need. So I'm going to try to get out of your way while you move your way up here. Poor dog needed to cool off. I can understand that. Tom, when was the last time that you looked at your phone? Because I'm calling out for people to tell me if I'm being heard correctly, but I'm not able. I just need to take it back, I guess, because I don't feel like I'm able to be heard. Ken?
Typing. They taught her typing.
Okay.
Everything is sounding good, and now it says typing.
All right, so I have got the word back that I needed, that things sound good, the drums are sounding good. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm hoping that you can hear me well, because I would suspect that only listening to the music is nice for a short while, but then you probably want to hear a little more commentary about what's going on here. I am going to be quiet for a minute and let you listen to these amazing drummers, and just watch, if you're on YouTube, to see the crowd here. Do it. Look at this sign. Public service is not a crime. Yeah. Public service is not a crime. Here's another sign. Hang in there. There's only 1,385 days to go. Counting those days. Counting. Some interviews. I think that's a great idea. It'll be a trick if we can figure out how, with all these folks, maybe we can figure out how to get an interview or two. Let's try to do this. I'm all about it. Okay. All right. So I think if we're going to do interviews, we're going to walk a little bit farther away from this area. I think I'm so in the loop. Let's share with others. Yes, make polio great again. RFK Jr. Yeah. So these are the kind of signs that we have at this amazing protest, trying to say Eugene says no, along with a lot of other places. all over the nation, even the world. People are out here saying enough is enough. And I think that that's so important. Yeah, how about this sign? Revenge is not policy. Revenge is not policy. So I am part of a community radio station here in Eugene, and we are live on the air right now. I am curious if there's anybody that would give me a very short interview, basically just asking why you think it's important to be here today. Oh, sure. And, okay, so we can just kind of share here. I'm going to get it nice and close because this is really about the audio. Okay. And will you tell me, why are you here today, sir?
Well, there's many reasons I'm here today. The main reason is because Donald Trump is a fascist and Elon Musk is a danger to this country, and they're both a terrible danger, and I am terrified of fascism, and I am a Jewish trans man, so that makes me incredibly vulnerable right now.
I can't even imagine being one of the targeted groups right now. I feel, just as a woman, I may be in the targeted group, but he hasn't got to my part of the agenda as much as he just went straight to attacking trans people.
Well, and I think we're being used as a wedge point, because if you can make the argument that trans people don't have a right to their health care, you can make that argument for women. And if you say that the government, if a parent and a doctor and a therapist and their child decide what's right for them, and now the government is saying, no, we know better than you do. If they can do that to trans kids and their parents, they can do that to people about measles. They can do it about your treatment for childhood cancer or anything. We cannot let them take one step forward. Trans people and undocumented people, right now, we're the wedge. And if you don't protect us, everything's going to fall after.
It's so true. I mean, and I'm like, I don't feel targeted, but Planned Parenthood is certainly being targeted.
Sure is, yes.
And I may be 53 years old and done having my 6 children, but I want my future generations to have the same rights to health care as I had. I just think that everybody has the right to health care. Certain things are human rights. Yes. And we all deserve them. And it's true. They pick a demographic that some group of people think they don't care about, and then they're like, oh yeah, that's okay, but they don't realize your demographic is next. You may be a brown person pointing those things out, but brown people are next, and you may not be an immigrant, but you are a brown person, and immigrants are low-hanging fruit. I think that they see trans people as low-hanging fruit, right? And then they'll be after everybody else. Don't think you're safe, right?
If they can make the argument about us, they can do it about anybody. We've got to go now.
Okay, thank you so much for being here. Okay, I think I kept him as long as he could possibly be kept. He was trying to pack up and leave already, so I gotta find people who are not trying to pack up yet. There's a lot of people. All these people driving by. Oh my gosh, look at this beautiful lineup here that we have just lining the street. The entire street is just lined all the way. There's signs hanging from the Coburg Bridge, and the entire little E-Web circle here just has hundreds, probably at least 1,000 people out here walking, holding their signs, doing what they can. Hello. How are you?
Good to see you.
It's good to see you. I don't suppose you have anything you would share live on the radio for KEPW. Like, why are you here today?
Let me think about it a minute.
Okay, well, I am live on the radio right now, so I'm going to just keep moseying around, seeing if I can find people who are willing to interview.
Just feel the energy.
Right? It really feels good to feel like there's so many people in our town that care. And
it feels like community.
Yeah, so her sign says, reject fascism, care for each other. Yeah, very good sign. Thank you. I love the signs because the thing about the signs that people hold is it's like the thing that they feel like they can pinpoint as what really touches their heart about this situation. There's so many pieces, like we got so many signs. Can I read your sign live on the radio here? Okay, so this is a hands-off sign, one of many that I have found with a laundry list of things. We've got handoff Medicare, Medicaid, reproductive rights, vaccines, immigrants, national parks, trans healthcare, LGBTQIA rights, libraries, Social Security, voting rights, science, education. That's a lot of stuff, right? It's like,
Yeah, we gotta fight.
yeah. Is there anything that you'd like to say live on the radio about why you're here today?
Yeah, well, I'm basically here because I'm a senior handicapped person and I live on Social Security. And honestly, I worked for 33 years and paid my taxes and now, I mean, if my Social Security gets taken away, I'll have nothing to live on, nothing at all. And I believe that obviously it's our money and the Social Security should be for the people, not the politicians, right?
Yes, that is the truth. Like, I don't even understand, like, some of these things, I can't even believe it's on the table, or why anybody could think that it's a good idea to get rid of the Department of Education.
Right.
Like, because they don't want us educated? Like, what is happening?
Right. I know they want to keep us dumbing down. They want to keep us dumbing down. They keep lying to us and they want to keep people stupid.
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me.
Stupid and sick.
Right. So if you can destroy the healthcare system, guess what? People won't be able to get what they need to stay healthy. You know? Thank you very much. So we've got Samba Jaw headed this way. We're gonna embrace the music for a moment while they go by. That the protest in Portland is massive. I feel the same thing about what's going on here in Eugene. For this little town, this protest is massive. And it sounds like they got it going on in Portland. That's just here in Oregon. I found out today that even the little town of Veneta has its own satellite protest going on right now. So I hope that the powers that be see what the people want and understand that we really do have the power. You know, these billionaires are billionaires on our dime, and we have the power to change it. We can boycott the companies like Tesla that are behind this, and you don't make any mistake. Elon Musk is feeling the heat. He gets it. That's why he's announced that he will leave in May, because he's accomplished what he was in there for it for. But the truth is that he's just one figurehead. This problem is way bigger than any of us actually probably are fully in the know about. I keep reading things about the stuff that's not at the top of the media's purview, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So now is the time. Pick your cause. Stand up for it. Now is the time. Alrighty then. It's nice to see the messages about how massive the Portland protest is. I can only imagine in that city that they are out. This sign says, "No king, not my dictator." Yep, there you go. We're gonna keep reading some signs until I find someone else who might tell me a little bit about why they are here. I'm going to ask this guy. It's interesting because lots of people misunderstand why a flag is flown upside down. And I do not think that it relates to somebody not caring about their community and their country. That upside down flag actually comes from somebody who so cares. Can I ask you a question? You have an upside down flag as part of your sign. I do. But first I should tell you, I am live on community radio here in Eugene. Okay. I'm also on our YouTube channel, which is why we're streaming from our YouTube channel. And I was just explaining that I believe that people who fly an upside down flag care deeply about their country. And what they're saying is that we are in distress and now we have to do something to back up how much we care. Yes. And so maybe you can tell me, your sign says, stop pretending your racism is patriotism. Whew, that says it all. Exactly. Tell me more about your sign. Why is that what you chose to say?
So my sign, when I first came into any encounter with an upside down flag, I was let know that it was like the biggest cry for help for your country. And so I thought that really stood, especially with what we're going through. And I do very much care about the people in this country. And that's what I've always stood by. And I might not like, none of us obviously like the administration that's holding it. So to put this on my board today for a huge cry for help and one of the biggest collective protests across the nation, I thought was a big stance. And then I personally have, some encounters with people trying to hide their racism or call it something else. So I really resonated with what this saying was, and so I put it on. And I thought it was something really good that sometimes you don't see, sometimes you see signs and you're like, I have been thinking that but couldn't put it into words. And so that's what I was hoping to also kind of do for people. That's the hope. Yeah.
I so resonate with this sign. The racism that we're experiencing is being hidden under the idea of illegals, which for a human to be illegal makes me want to be sick, honestly.
Yes, I feel that.
So tell me, what do you think is important why do you think it's important to be here?
I think it's really important to be here because standing together is what's going to make the most change. And if we sit around and do nothing, or we just become desensitized, it's going to keep happening. Things can just keep getting worse. And it's really unfortunate that we have to keep protesting against things like this for our civil rights. But those things are really important to every human being on this earth. So I think it's beautiful that everybody is showing up today. This is the biggest I've seen in a few years since the women's rights movements and everything.
Kind of since he was in office the last time.
Yeah. But this is how we make change. So I am showing up to everything that I can, and I'm so happy to see other people doing the same.
Thank you so much. I want to say again, her sign says, stop pretending your racism is patriotism, and it is said on top of an upside down American flag. Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for asking questions. It was lovely speaking to you. Good luck with your live and the rest of your days.
All right, so there you go. There's another interview from someone, and it really was perfect timing because I was actually looking at another guy that had an actual flag flying that's upside down, and then along comes this person who has a sign that is also an upside down flag. And so I felt like that was the perfect opportunity to hear from her what it is that makes it so that she thinks an upside down flag is an appropriate response right now. I like your sign, beam up the bad guys. Beam up the bad guys. You know what? I was sitting, I went into a bathroom that had a sign on it recently that said if you could do something and know it wasn't going to fail, what would it be? And my instant reaction was to think bad things about what I would like to do with the people of this administration that think that this is the way to treat humans and our planet. But then I thought, why don't we just let them take their aircraft and go? Because they seem to be wanting that, It'd be cool if they wanted to do this somewhere else. I feel bad because it's like, am I really wishing that on the rest of the universe? But it was better than the alternative that was my knee-jerk reaction. I really want to be better than that. So there I went with, I'm with her. Beam up the bad guys. Another sign, if we agree that the problems are real, maybe we could talk and seek together common interests. Just a thought. So I try really hard to recognize things in my effort to share on the radio. I try to recognize that a lot of people have voted for Trump for reasons that we agree on, and it's the tactics that we don't agree on. And I think that we really just have to understand what is the thing that we really want to stand for. You know, if what we're saying is we stand for the planet and all the creatures on the planet, then when you get an administration, even though you want to believe in this person to do something good, if you get an administration that is clearly doing things to take down the protections on making sure that our planet stays healthy and safe, then you have to recognize, you know, maybe this isn't the right tactic. We have to be willing to open ourselves up. You know, I had to have my heart broken when I believed in the hope that Obama was supposed to bring, but he didn't really seem to follow through. He didn't go crazy the other direction, but you know, this drone war thing increased on his watch. There's a lot of things that weren't good that increased on his watch, and I don't believe the president has the capability of making all the decisions. I don't believe Trump is making all the decisions. I believe there's a whole group of people that represent an evil way deeper than I can even fathom. So just want to make sure that we are still live on the air. Anybody out there listening, particularly Sam Broadway, will you send me another text and let me know that we are for sure live on the air? And my monitor idea went sideways, so if you would just send me the message the way you have been to my Facebook, I will get the message, because apparently it pops in even when I am live streaming. These live streams are new for KEPW. We do not have a lot of experience at this, but we are working at making it so that we have new and better ways to live stream. Sam Broadway was a huge piece of putting the Black Lives Matter protests on the air. And honestly, I think he hurt himself doing it. So kudos to you, Sam, for doing that for your country and the benefit of the people in this country. We are blessed to have people that care as much as you do, and we're super happy for you to be out there helping me from home monitor while I'm able to now see, thanks to you guys, that I am in fact still on the air live. We're here, thousands of people. There are still, like, just in this one little area, there are still hundreds of people right here between eWeb's buildings. The City Hall. First time at this particular location since it became the City Hall. Hundreds of people still here, even after the music has stopped and after the speakers have gone their way. Everybody is signs. There's people with their cars streaming by, honking in support. People all over the bridge still. I mean, it's massive. Yeah, so we have talked a little bit about the visas being revoked. Yeah, so I'm participating in this protest, which is exactly what many of us have done in protest of war. There's perfect timing. A sign, Free Palestine, walks by as I am on the air now talking about this particular topic. Yeah, so students are having their visas revoked for exercising their right to free speech in our country. Is that actually happening? Like, I had to pinch myself to realize this is real, like, and so wrong in so many ways. Don't even get me started, but if you want the right to free speech and you don't want somebody to tell you what you're allowed to say in the United States of America, your ears should be at high alert right now, because what's happening is we've got hundreds of students having their visas revoked because they practice free speech. And let me tell you, free speech in the United States is not only supposed to be, thank you for correcting me, Sam, not only having them revoked, they're being arrested, detained, and deported for having the right to free speech. And they had the right to free speech. This country doesn't say you only have the right to free speech if you're a resident. You have the right to free speech if you're a human. And it's unbelievable that what we're doing right now, students that have visas are afraid to come be a part of because they're going to be deported over it. Like, how wrong is that? How awful is that? What country do I live in? That's what I want to know, because this is not the country I understand to be the crux of our freedoms, revolving around the right to free speech, the right to choose who you want your health care from, the right to not be interrogated simply because you're a brown person, the right to have the ocean remain able to sustain life, the rivers able to sustain life, the trees able to sustain our life, because if you cut down all the trees, there ain't anybody gonna breathe on this planet. So let's see if we can, no, none of these signs are mine, but would you consider, I'm live on the radio, and I'm looking for somebody to comment about what they think about the idea that our students with visas that participated in protests like this, that were specifically anti-war protests, are being having their visas revoked. They're being arrested, detained, deported. So this person's sign says no U.S. money to El Salvador. Seacoast Prison. Oh, yeah. See, I'm not even familiar with the name of the prison.
Our tax money is being used to send them there.
Yeah, I knew that. So I can make it so it's my face, but would you consider saying what do you think about this? Can you elaborate on why you wrote that on your sign?
Oh, yeah. So a lot of people don't understand that the people power, our money, our tax money, is being used in ways that we do not agree with. Instead of funding support for our students, for our colleges, for our rights to speak, it's instead being used to send people to torture prisons for Trump's personal revenge and vendetta. And that is not what we want. It is not what we want. And our allies are starting to think that's what we want, and we do not.
Thank you. Thank you. So that is just one person with a sign very similar to many other people's signs here at this rally. It's funny, she had so many important messages on her sign. I didn't actually see that one of them was about the issue with people being sent to El Salvador. Like, it's like, oh, we had an administrative error and sent somebody to El Salvador that was a mistake, but we can't do anything about it? Like, what in the world? I'm just, I'm looking at another sign that says in dire distress, upside down flag. I mean, I think that this is pretty common. This is a trend going on here. Boy, signs that just say so many. Hands off Gaza, our democracy, our bodies, our immigrants, our identities, our Medicaid, our veterans, our allies, our forests. Hands off. That's what this protest is called, the hands off protest. I think that's because there were so many things that need to be addressed that they called it hands off, because that means this is not for a single man with his billionaire friends to be able to decide that our money gets spent on making it so only the press that they want to hear is allowed to be heard. It's not so that they can decide who should be legal and who shouldn't. Because if you have a legal visa and they're revoking visas, that's not about illegal immigrants, guys. That is a threat to our democracy and the entire process by which we made it possible for people like Elon Musk to become a resident of the United States, because he came in on a visa. I can't even. I have to try my hardest not to get upset. It's really difficult. And here we are on the radio trying to control ourselves. But you know, there's a lot of people, I think, that are in the same position here today, where there is just one group after another. There's tables all over here with groups. We've got Church Women United, Indivisible Eugene Springfield, showing up for racial justice. That's just a few of the groups that have tables here today, including Eugene Peaceworks. And we are making our way back down here to Scooby and the youth radio kids, because I need to make sure that all is well with the family in the middle of our efforts to be live on the radio, which I'm really glad we made happen. I really apologize that we wanted to be here earlier. We had some serious technical issues that made that more difficult. But the good news is our news team was out here recording all of these incredible speakers. We caught a little bit here and there. We definitely got the end of it, along with some great interviews. I'm wanting to do a time check. Time check, please. Sorry. I'm like, time check. My monitor person is
2:55.
Here, and I'm just trying to make sure that we can stay connected. This is a work in progress, and we are working hard at making it so that protests and people uniting to try to stand up for what is so important in this country right now continue to be heard on KEPW at 1:30 p.m. Sunday, Monday, Wednesdays, and let me think about this. Monday through Friday as well as Sunday? I'm not positive. Okay. Monday through Friday at 1:30 p.m. our news team plays their show. For sure. Monday through Friday, 1:30 p.m. And I believe on Sundays, but I don't want to be quoted of that, which is kind of terrible. I'm so sorry, guys. But some pieces of this protest and the speakers here will be able to be heard at those times, as well as Fridays from 3 to 5 p.m. This Friday, 3 to 5 p.m., you'll be able to hear speakers that spoke today. You'll also be able to hear the interviews done by our youth radio students, both at their 6 o'clock show on Saturday, but also Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. There will also be some of the things that our Unidad de Activistas students are playing. And I have got a message. Sam Broadway also intends to share things from this protest on his show, which is 12:30 p.m. Please correct me, Sam, if I'm mistaken. I believe it is 12:30 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. that the show for KEPW Newsday plays. And that's Sam Broadway's show, and he intends to also share more from this protest today. We definitely have some great humans in our community, and I'm so grateful for it. I just can't even give my sincere thanks to all the people that have participated in showing up today, that all the people that participate on the daily with making a difference in our community, so many communities. So we have 2 minutes left. Okay, thank you, Sam. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All right, so only Monday is the only day that KPW Newsday doesn't play. And it plays on Tuesday, it repeats Wednesday, a new show plays Thursday, it repeats Friday. Thank you for the reminder. Too many shows, too much on the mind. So much it took for us to get live on the air today, but we are seriously grateful for being able to bring this march and rally. I think it was more of a rally than a march. I think they did go marching down the street. There was a fair amount of people who did that, but mostly it was people showing up in mass in Eugene, Oregon, to say this is not okay. And we do not stand by this administration. And if these rallies do nothing else but show the rest of the world how many Americans really do not believe in the agenda of what I consider an evil administration that wants to hurt a lot of people and deceive a lot of people into believing that it is for the good eventually, I just appreciate everyone that is everywhere, making it so that the rest of the world knows that not all Americans feel the way this administration would like them to believe. That I believe that a lot of people that voted him into office don't believe in the things that he believes in, and they have mistakenly put their faith in somebody, hoping and praying for change. And I think all of us believe in change. I think we have to get together and talk more about the tactics. So thank you, everyone. Signing out. This has been KEPW Live at the Hands Off rally with thousands of other people in Eugene, Oregon today. Oh yeah, and I'm Jana from KEPW. Thank you all.